You just lost a client. Not because your product was bad, not because your price was wrong, because the sales page you wrote at midnight, half caffeinated, trying to sound like a copywriter, read exactly like what it was. A founder who doesn't write copy for a living, desperately trying to close a deal. That's the real cost nobody talks about when they say, just use AI to write your marketing. Because not all AI writes the same, and when your revenue depends on the words on that page, picking the wrong tool is the same as hiring the wrong person. Welcome back to Venture Void. If you're new here, this channel is built for solo founders and small operators who are running lean, automating smart, and trying to build real income without a bloated team. Today, we're going in deep on something a lot of channels are getting wrong, the actual head-to-head between Claude Sonnet 5 and GPT-5.5 for sales copy specifically. Not content, not code, not chatbot responses, sales copy, the kind that moves money. I ran both through a gauntlet of real scenarios, cold email sequences, landing page headlines, VSL scripts, product launch emails, and what I found will probably change which tab you have open tomorrow morning. Here's the problem that every solo founder eventually hits. You're not a copywriter, you're a builder, a consultant, an operator, a developer, whatever your thing is, and at some point you need words that sell, and you need them now, and you can't afford to hire a conversion rate optimization specialist charging $4,000 to $8,000 for a single sales page. So you turn to AI, and you get something. It's grammatically correct. It sounds vaguely professional. You hit publish, and it converts at 1.2% when the industry benchmark for your niche is 3 to 4. That gap, that 1.5% on a product priced at $300 with 500 monthly visitors, is the difference between $4,500 a month and $900 a month. Every month. That's not a small problem. That's a business-defining problem. So I put both models through 6 real copywriting tasks, and I want to walk you through what actually happened. Task 1, a cold email for a B2B SaaS tool, targeting operations managers at companies with 50 to 200 employees. GPT-5.5 produced something clean, structured, competent. Subject line was serviceable. The body had a clear CTA, but it read like a template. Hi, first name. I noticed your company is scaling, and I wanted to reach out about how our tool helps teams like yours save time. You've seen that email 100 times. You've deleted that email 100 times. Claude Sonnet 5 opened with a specific operational pain point, the friction of running 3 tools to do what one should handle, and then immediately quantified what that costs. Most ops teams at your stage are losing roughly 6 to 8 hours per week across tool switching and manual data reconciliation. That's 1 full employee day every week, not building anything. That's not just warmer, that's a different category of persuasion. It demonstrates that the sender understands the reader's actual week before asking for anything. Task 2, a landing page hero section for a solo consultant selling a $1,200 strategy intensive. This is where it gets interesting. GPT 5.5 defaulted to benefit stacking. Clarity, direction, results, punchy? Sure. But punchy without specificity is just noise. Claude came back with something that addressed the psychological state of the buyer at the moment they land on that page. The founder who's been spinning in circles, who's tried the courses and the templates, and who's now at the point where they need a person, not a product. The headline read, "You don't have a strategy problem. You have a decision you've been avoiding." That's not copywriting, that's therapy. And therapy sells because it makes the reader feel seen before they've scrolled an inch. Task 3, a 5-email product launch sequence for a digital course priced at $497. I gave both models the same brief, course topic, audience, price, launch window, and 3 key differentiators. GPT 5.5 built a technically correct sequence. Email 1 was a story-based origin email. Email 2 introduced the product. Email 3 built urgency. Email 4 handled objections. Email 5 was the car close. Standard proven architecture. But Claude did something different in email 3. Instead of manufacturing urgency with a countdown timer mention, it reframed the cost of an action in a way that felt earned rather than pressured. It calculated what staying stuck costs on a quarterly basis and presented that number before mentioning the price of the course. 3 months from now, at your current trajectory, that problem costs you roughly X. The course is $497. The math isn't complicated. That's a closer's move. That's not AI that learned copywriting rules. That's AI that understands persuasion at a structural level. What Claude Sonnet 5 essentially replaces in your stack is a mid-tier freelance copywriter. Someone you'd find on Upwork, pay $800 to $1,500 for a sales page. Wait 2 weeks for it and then spend another week in revision cycles. At $20 a month on the API or a Claude Pro subscription, you're replacing that expenditure almost entirely for foundational copy work. It also replaces the hour and a half you currently spend staring at a blank Google Doc trying to write a subject line. because it will give you 12 subject line variants with different emotional hooks in under 30 seconds. GPT-5.5 is better elsewhere. Code generation, data analysis, structured research outputs, but for the specific craft of persuasion writing, for copy that needs to make a stranger feel understood and then compelled to act, Claude has a meaningful edge right now. Here's the catch, and I want to be direct about this because it's important. Neither of these tools is a replacement for copy strategy. They're a replacement for copy execution. The difference matters enormously. If you give Claude a bad brief, vague target audience, generic value proposition, unclear desired action, you will get sophisticated sounding garbage back. The output quality is a direct function of your input quality. The founders who get 3 to 5% conversion rates from AI generated copy are the ones who spend 20 minutes writing a detailed brief before they touch the prompt. They know their customer's specific language, their top 3 objections, the exact transformation they're promising, and the one action they want the reader to take. The founders who get 1% conversion rates are the ones who type, "Write me a landing page for my coaching business," and hit enter. The tool is not the variable. Your brief is the variable. Claude Sonnet 5 rewards specificity more than any other model I've tested. The more precise your input, the more uncomfortably accurate your output. One more real scenario before we close. A solo e-commerce founder selling a $47 supplement for sleep, running Facebook ads to a Shopify landing page. They were converting at 1.8%. They switched from GPT-based copy to Claude-generated copy using a detailed brief that included real customer reviews broken down by emotional language, specific objections pulled from 1-star reviews of competitor products, and the 3 life situations their buyer is in when they search for a sleep solution. New page went live. 2 weeks later, conversion rate was 3.4%. On 3,000 monthly visitors, that's the difference between $2,500 in monthly revenue and $4,800. That's recurring. That compounds. That's what choosing the right tool and using it with discipline actually looks like in dollar terms. If you run a solo business and words are part of how you sell, and they always are, this is not a casual preference question. Claude Sonnet 5 is currently the sharper instrument for persuasion writing, and the gap between using it well and using it poorly is your brief. Build the brief. Know your buyer. Know their language. Know what they're afraid of and what they're reaching for. Give Claude that context, and what comes back will be closer to what a good copywriter would produce after 3 discovery calls than anything you could write yourself at midnight. Subscribe to Venture Void. Every week, this channel goes deep on the tools, the frameworks, and the decisions that actually move revenue for small operators running lean. No fluff, no listicles, just what works, why it works, and how to use it. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.